welcome back. My grandchildren are just walking in the front door, so we might get a little bit of interesting color. I was doing a bunch of this and then decided, wait a minute, I should bring you guys in and show you. So a real, very specific, quick little trick for rendering foliage. I'm doing orange leaves. I've already done a bunch, so can't do too much more. But I've been using a lot of this trick, and it's worth passing on how to actually apply the paint. And here it is. Instead of dragging your brush across the canvas, which leaves a smear of paint, roll your brush. Now, at the moment, I'm using very small brushes. Now, of course, I can still come in here and do a few little punctilious spots like that, right? But too much of that, it gets very contrived looking, forced, controlled looking. So I'm using a fair amount of this, roll the brush, not to create one leaf, of course, but a bank of leaves, if you will. Yeah, and I'm using just a little bit of this lighter orange. I'm following the practice that I often do, which is putting down one color and then coming back a little bit later with a slightly lighter color. So that's exactly what I'm doing right now. This is the slightly lighter color. Now, of course, how many times can you repeat that? The answer is who knows. I would guess at this point that I'm going to do it at least one more time with a pale orange, even paler than what I'm doing right now. Now, trees are funny because of course it would make sense that the leaves, many of the leaves on this side, the outside of the tree, would catch sunlight, like I'm indicating right now. But it's also true that leaves on the far side of the tree, very far from here, could also catch sunlight. So, do you want to do some way back there? Maybe. Good question. Don't forget this thing, a tree typically is like a semi-porous orb, right? It's a sphere or an orb that is spotty, dotty on the outside.
Okay, well, Izzy just brought the one that's for you. Here.
A lot of activity going on right now in the house. Sorry about that. And I'm doing here a few leaves that are falling from the tree. Just a few. It would be easy to get corny with that. Okay, I just saw something that I'm going to, a little change of direction here. I'm going to mix up a fairly intense red.
Hey, Peter, look.
Look at that. Groceries. Okay, so this is it's not quite, let me see. Let me try to get it redder than that. I was going to say it's not quite a red. Okay, there we go. Red, red, red. Yeah, not fire engine red, brighter than that. Lighter and slightly yellower, but just because there's some red in here already, and I just want to come in here and echo the red with some of it's oh, that's nice. Very, very nice. And also here's a tiny bit of lavender. I remember when I put that on there, I wasn't positive that it was going to look good. I was just operating by principle rather than by sight. And I'm glad now that I did, because in fact, yes, I'm going to come back in there and reinforce that red. So let me give you, are you with me still? A lot of noise going on. Hope you can hear me all right. Let me give you a very, very important principle. This just doesn't apply to trees. It applies to all kinds of painting. When you do your underpainting, you throw in a variety of colors, more variety than you're comfortable with. And then little by little, for me anyway, I rein the painting in a little bit so it doesn't Now it doesn't look like, it looks pretty realistic. But there are these little hints, little bits of lavender, little bits of greenish. Right now I'm doing little bits of red. And that's because early, if you go back and watch me at the very beginning of this painting, I put some very bold strokes of red in the underpainting, and later I came back with some lavender. And well, let me put down the red brushes for a minute and pick up some new brushes to demonstrate. So here's a really, really handy trick of the trade, if you will. Whatever colors you see, usually just hinting, because, for instance, the lavender, I'm going to do lavender next. There's little bits of lavender all over the place in here. And it's just hints of lavender because they have many layers of other stuff on top of them. When I put them down, it was pretty strong, but then I did orange and blue and orange and brown and orange and blue and white, all kinds of stuff on. So now it's just little hints of lavender, but you can still see that it's there. So here's what I've done. I've just mixed up a batch of quite intense lavender. And I'm responding to the lavender that's already on the canvas. See, the canvas is telling me where. I'm not inventing. And again, this is a good example of what I mean. In the underpainting, you want to create sufficient chaos so that you have something to respond to, something to play with, something to go with in the later stages. And this is later stages now. This be overpainting, what I'm doing right now. This is no longer underpainting. This is overpainting. And there's little bits of lavender, so the canvas is literally saying to me, lavender here, lavender here, lavender here. And I hear it saying that. I said, okay, good idea, good idea. So then what happens is I'm putting lavender sometimes on top of the little bits, more often right adjacent to the little bits of lavender that are already there. So what that does is one way to put it, it tricks our eyes. It fools our eyes. Our eyes can't quite tell what's on top of what. And believe it or not, our eyes love that. They just love it. Another word for this would be it sets up a vibration, a visual vibration. Again, that our eyes just slap themselves silly going, oh, I love it. Hit me again. Hit me. So with some more of that vibration. So you see, I'm probably done with the lavender. I'll put these brushes away. I might use them again. But let me go back to the red for a minute. So I was doing exactly the same thing with the red. Like all of this in here, I hope you can see that, is all underpainting. So then I come right up here beside it and put down some more very intense red. And the relationship, those two reds talk to each other. They connect, vibrate with each other. Pooh! Are you excited? I am. Okay, let me go back now. I'm going to change brushes again. Let me go back to my very pale orange, very pale yellow orange, and see if I want any even lighter than what was already, slightly lighter than what was already there, and I believe I do. So this will probably be my lightest leaf color. So you see I have a little area of light orange right there, and now I see that what's on my brushes is not light enough. So now I've mixed up a batch of slightly brighter, lighter, whiter orange, and going to come in here and just hit a few specks, a couple escaping out into the blue sky down there. Up here, yeah, and let's do that roll the brush trick again. Now this roll the brush, it borders on, by the way, what I call Bob Ross brush tricks. How did Bob Ross, I loved him, I enjoy him as much as anybody, but was he a good painter? Well, nobody will know. No. I mean, in a way, but no, not really. The reason he was good at brush tricks, and I'm not belittling him by saying that. He was very good, but how did he do a complete painting in 25 minutes? The answer is brush tricks. And you, as an artist, you should know all those tricks. Just like I'm using a very sort of, I'm not sure that I ever saw him to use this one, but that's I would put this in that category. They kind of need to be used with a limited measure. I'm almost doing it too much here. I'm going to stop there, at least stop you guys. Let me see if you've left any comments. I'll let you take a straight on look at the painting so you can kind of get a feel for it. I'm pretty happy with it. Beautiful old oak tree. And let me just check real quickly, see if anybody's left any comments. I don't think anybody has. It's supper time. Well, that's it. Thank you. That'll probably be my last episode for today, unless I decide to go upstairs and do some calligraphy, which is on my list of things to do. That would be fun. I haven't done any calligraphy on my daily art adventure for a long time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave your questions in the comments on the video, and I will certainly answer them later. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.